You already know. What's up guys, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. The grandpa glasses are making a bit of a comeback. Hopefully the glare is not too bad. But as I'm sure you can tell by the title of the video, today we're gonna be doing an art supply haul because, as evidenced by this extremely comically long receipt, I bought some art supplies recently. Now I went to basically two places. The first was a local art store that was going out of business, unfortunately, but they basically had everything discounted. So I went there and kind of picked through what they had. They didn't have a huge selection, particularly of art supplies that I am interested, because it was more of like a fine art supply store. So lots of oil paint, acrylic paint, watercolor, and that was really not what I was looking to invest in this time around, but I did still find a good assortment of things, so I'm going to be kind of going through that. And then the second place that I went was Daiso. Now you guys know I love Daiso, and if you are not in one of the states that has a Daiso, then I apologize. But that being said, I'm sure there is probably a local equivalent to Daiso in your area, whether it's the Dollar Tree or Dollar General, something along those lines. Basically, the whole point is that you can find really cool, fun art supplies for a very inexpensive price. So I did go to Daiso as well. Let's go ahead and get the art store supplies out of the way, just because there's a little bit less of that to go through, plus a lot of it's kind of like quick. You guys already know what it is, so let's go ahead and start there. The first thing I picked up are two Daleroni acrylic inks. I love these. I fell in love with these around Inktober, and I have a couple of colors in my collection already, but I decided to pick up Indigo and Payne's Gray. Both beautiful. I love these so much. They are really easy to mix and kind of customize the color that you want, and they make really beautiful ink washes, and they're great if you are a watercolor artist or work in a lot of water soluble mediums, because these are waterproof once they dry. That's my spiel about those. The next thing I picked up is some artist's tape. I bought my last roll of artist tape off Amazon, and it was like $7, which is fine. It's a different width than this one. This one is more narrow, but this was on sale for $4. So basically everything at the art supply store ended up being like 20% off. So yeah, this was originally $5. I got it for $4, and the thickness on this is 1/4 inch. So I think the one that I have now is 1/2 inch, so this would be really great for smaller illustrations. And basically I just use this to tape down a border on my pieces so that I kind of have a nice clean white edge once I'm done with the piece. So love having some of this, and I like having a different size. I picked up this. This was totally an impulse thing, but I thought it was really cute. So it's called the Faber-Castell Click and Go Foldable Water Pot, and this was like it says $4.39, so it was originally like $5.50. I got it for about 20% off, and this is what it looks like, right? So it's just like this little rubber kind of lid, but then it pops out, so it's kind of like a little travel sized water cup. And even though I don't travel and paint very often, I thought this would be nice just to have at my desk, because I can collapse it whenever I'm not using it and kind of save space that way. And even though I don't love the color, I think it's pretty cute. So I'm probably going to be using this a lot for my watercolor illustrations. Currently I just kind of have an assortment of little jars that I use to paint with, and they fill up and get dirty really quickly, so it'll be nice to have something that's a little bit bigger. So I picked that up. Now I have a bunch of pens and things in here, so I'm just going to kind of be grabbing and pulling them out as I see fit. So the first things I picked up are some Col-Erase pencils. I picked some up in some colors I already know I love, and some newer colors as well. So I love the No Photocopy Blue pencils. These are really great to just get your basic foundation sketch in, and then go on top of it with a darker color and kind of build up your details. I love sketching with these that way, so I did pick up 2 of these because I tend to go through these pretty quickly, and even though I have a bunch of extras, maybe I can do a giveaway or something, because I did just hit 3,000 subscribers. I didn't mention that, but thank you if you've subscribed recently, because we recently hit 3K. Very exciting. I love you all. So maybe I'll do another little giveaway pretty soon. I don't know. Maybe. Then I picked up some light gray. I thought this was kind of nice. I like the texture of colored pencils as opposed to regular pencils, but sometimes you don't want to add a lot of color to your drawing. So I thought having a more neutral gray color would be a nice alternative. And then I picked up lavender. This is slightly different from the purple color that I have. It's a little bit more cool toned and might pair better with like, you know, just a more cool toned illustration, and it would kind of blend in a little bit more. I tend to do that when I sketch in my full color illustrations. I tend to try and match the color of the pencil to the colors I'll be using in the piece. That way it just kind of blends seamlessly and you don't really notice it in the final image. So I picked up, oh, I took these out. Sorry, I forgot that I took them out of the packaging. Just because I was really excited and I kind of swatched everything. But I picked up this Tombow brush pen. You know, I've tried a lot of the Tombow brush pens on my channel so far, but this is kind of an interesting one because it's a double-ended one. So it has one black brush pen and one gray brush pen, although it is really similar to the other Tombow pen that I have. And I can't remember the name of this one because I can't read any of the writing on this, but I am going to write it across the screen so you know which one I'm talking about. I have this linked in my favorite Amazon supplies list, so that's down below too if you want to grab yourself one of these. It's a really, really great brush pen. So basically, if you're getting this brush pen, which again, I don't know the official name of, you get a black side and a gray side. So it's kind of like two pens in one, which is nice. And it's very similar to the other pen that I've tried, which is a Pilot pen. It has the same dealio where you have like two ends, so you have a gray side and a black side. This is basically the Tombow equivalent of that. And from what I've tried, they basically seem to perform the exact same way. The nibs are very, very similar. So yeah, I have a review on my channel of some cheap Amazon brush pens that I've tried, and I would say that this is pretty similar to both of the ones in those videos. So if you like brush pens like that and you happen to stumble across this one, pick it up, you'll probably like it. So I picked up that. I also picked up, this is a Pentel Stylo pen. This is also kind of similar to the Tombow brush pens, although the nib is a little bit different, but I feel like the way that it writes and performs is very, very similar. So I've been liking this pen a lot. I'll probably just use it for sketching in my sketchbook and other things like that. I have not tried it out as far as Copic proof or waterproof or anything like that. It does say it is water-based, so that tells me it would probably bleed with both markers and watercolors. But I can do a full review of this if you would like to see it. Just let me know. But I did pick up this. And then I also picked up, let's see, I have a lot of pens in here. Oh, here it is. I also picked up this. This is the Pentel Slicky pen. This seems to me like the Pentel equivalent of the Pilot High-Tech C pen. I believe they are both the same size. Yeah, 0.25 millimeters, I'm assuming. Very, very tiny pen, really awesome for fine details. They're both like a gel ballpoint pen formula, so the ink flow is really, really easy, even though the nib is so small. So if you are really super into fine details, I would recommend either of these two pens. I do find them to be really, really similar just from how much I've tried them both thus far. So yeah, if you guys want me to do like a whole pen video kind of talking about brush pen dupes and like pens that are really similar, you don't need both, that kind of stuff, I definitely have enough pens to do that because I've been really into pens lately. I blame bullet journaling for that. So yeah, Pentel Slicky pen. I also picked up some of these Tombow pens. Now I had these ages ago when I was first getting into markers. These were kind of like my prequel to Copic markers, and then I did find that they didn't really mix too well because one was alcohol based and then these are water based. But these are really, really beautiful pens. Now they're double-ended. You have a really nice traditional kind of brush side and then a very typical kind of fine tip side. Now these are really big in the bullet journaling community, which makes me wish I'd held on to the ones that I had years and years and years ago, but they're not terribly expensive and they are really nice pens. So I just picked up 3 colors that I thought would be pretty, mostly for bullet journaling, but also maybe just throwing into my sketchbook. Now this green color was a little bit dry, But the awesome thing about the Tombow pens is that they're kind of meant to be used with water. So if you do pick up one that tends to be a little bit on the dry side, just dip it in some water and it will flow beautifully. So that is one thing that I do really like about these pens. They're kind of meant to be used as almost a watercolor marker hybrid. So really awesome, super, super fun to play around with. What is this? Oh yeah, so while I was standing in line at the art store, the line was super, super long and it was taking forever, and they had a whole stand of the Winsor & Newton pigment markers. I've seen people use these on YouTube and they really intrigued me. So basically I told Keith to go pick out 2 random colors so that I could try them out. So he picked up Cool Gray 4 and Phthalo Blue Deep. I don't know if these colors are gonna work well together. I don't even know if I have the paper to use these, but just when I swatched them in my notebook or in my sketchbook, they seemed a lot like alcohol-based markers. I'm sure there's differences, but these are the pigment markers, not the Winsor & Newton alcohol-based markers. But I'm excited to try these out. I don't know, we'll see if I can do anything with these or if I have to pick up a couple more colors first. I also picked up 2 of these Prismacolor Premier white pencils. I like these for adding details, and the one that I have right now has definitely seen better days. He's like one of my little stubby pencils in here. So I picked up some extra ones just because the lead in these pencils is so soft and it tends to go really, really quickly. So I picked these up just to kind of have them. That way I don't have to feel bad whenever I use the one that I have, just because I do find them to be incredibly useful. I also picked up these pens. Really into pens and markers lately, I don't know. These are the Koi coloring brush pens. They're a water-based pen, so very similar to the Tombow pens, but they are not double-sided. They just have the one brush side, and it's a little bit of a smaller brush than the Tombow as well. And I picked up 3 colors just to kind of play around with and have fun with. I will probably be using these more for, you guessed it, bullet journaling. Are you guys sick of hearing me talk about bullet journaling yet? Because I am like, I drink the Kool-Aid with bullet journaling, and I am in deep with bullet journaling. But anyway, I picked up 3 colors. These are really pretty. I could use them kind of together or separate. And these are kind of the similar thing where if they're dried out, you can dip them in water and then use them that way. So really like those, and the brush on those is really nice just from what I've tried thus far. I picked up this really tiny Princeton Select liner brush. This is a size 0. I just kind of wanted something really tiny and skinny, and it has a little cowlick over here that's kind of sticking out, so I'll have to kind of try and mold it and shape it. But I did just kind of want a nice skinny little brush for watercolor, something to use. This is a little bit long, but it was what they had and it was on sale, so knowing me, I was just like, gimme. So, you know, I don't know what that sound was. Like an art supply monster. And then all of the rest of the stuff that I picked up at the art supply store was erasers, and I know very little about erasers. I kind of know the differences between each one on a basic level, but these were some interesting ones that I'd never seen before. So if you know how these are supposed to be used, let me know. So I picked up 2 basic, just needed erasers. I picked up 2 in case I want to give one away, but they're also really nice to always have on hand. Then I picked up this Factice Technique eraser. It's kind of like semi-translucent, and I don't know, just kind of a pretty nice looking eraser. It feels very stiff, but like flexible at the same time, so I don't know. I'll have to try that out. Then I picked up this Factice black eraser. I don't know what you're supposed to use black erasers for, but I thought it was interesting and maybe I needed one, so I got one. Plus they were all like really cheap. I picked up this General's gum eraser, which is just very like soft and kind of squishy, which feels nice. So I don't really know what I'm supposed to use that for either. And then I just picked up kind of a basic soft white eraser, and this looks very much like my Staedtler or Pentel white erasers. So I thought it would be a good one to have on hand just because all of my current erasers look a little stubby. Oh, I also forgot about this. This is the Faber-Castell Pitt calligraphy pen in black. It's not a super dark rich black, but it's a nice pen and I like the nib on it. It's really nice. I also think I will enjoy this for bullet journaling and just kind of like fun hand lettering practice and things like that. So I did pick that up. And that is everything I got at the art supply store, the one that was going out of business. So I thought I picked up a good amount of stuff. I saved like 20 bucks overall on everything, which is pretty good. And a lot of it was stuff that I've been wanting to try or stuff that I already know that I love. So yeah, pretty happy with my purchases there. Let's move on to the stuff I got from Daiso, because there's a lot. The first thing I got, first of all, when I first walked into Daiso, was this like skull mason jar mug. I couldn't say no to this. I love skulls. I love things that are like dark and scary and remind me of death, but are also cute, you know? So I like this. It was really cool. And it was $1.50, as is basically everything at Daiso unless it is marked otherwise. So yeah, let's get into the first thing that I picked up. Well, this isn't necessarily in order of how I picked things up in the store, but just sort of like the order of how I'm going to use these things. And let me preface this by saying I am going to be doing a part 2 to my Daiso art supplies video where I'm kind of trying all of these out. So you were probably going to be seeing a lot of these supplies in a recent video coming to my channel very, very soon. But I kind of thought it made more sense to do the haul first and then the Daiso video. So that way I don't have to haul this in that video, and that video won't be crazy long this time. Well, this one probably will be. This one probably will be a long video. Sorry in advance. So the first thing I picked up are these art boards. I don't know what these are actually called. People use them at conventions all the time, but this is a pack of 3, so they were like 50 cents each. And these are really nice, and I think that they'll be good for the other supplies that I got, because the paper I got last time from Daiso was just like a very basic cheap sketchbook, and the paper was super, super thin. So this will be a little bit of a different feel, much more sturdy, and I'll probably be able to blend and build things up a lot more. So I'm excited about that. And then, you guys are gonna freak out. You guys are gonna just freak out so much. I found what Daiso calls their illustration markers, and they come in packs of 2 each, and I found quite a variety of colors, although this isn't like a super wide color variety. This is just what my Daiso had, so I got one of each of all of their little packs. And these are dual-ended alcohol-based markers, and I've swatched them, and I will hold my opinion for the video, but I'm just very excited for you guys to see these markers and how they perform. I haven't like played around with actually doing any illustrating with them yet, so very excited to show you guys that. Then I got some gel pens. Now, I've never seen these at my Daiso before, but they're basically 3 packs of 8, so 24 total, and they have a variety of colors. So some things that really intrigued me were they have some metallic ones, some fluorescent ones, and then kind of just some basic colors. And there's a white gel pen in there, there's a gold, a silver, you know, so in all of these sets, I found a lot of similarities between my Sakura jelly rolls, which retail for much more than these. And I kind of want to do like a side-by-side comparison of dupes I found at Daiso for a lot of my more expensive art supplies. So again, that could be a whole separate video, just because I don't want the Daiso art supplies video to be super, super long. So I think I will save that for a separate video, just because I do have some other things in here that could potentially be dupes. So yeah, I picked these up. I'm pretty excited about them. Then I picked up these just ballpoint pens in various colors. I thought these would be fun for playing around with line work, and then also bullet journaling, just because I love colored pens, and this is a good variety. I think there's 10 in here, which is a really good deal, and they're nice pens just from what I've kind of tried out so far. Then I picked up some neon colored pencils. There's 5 in here. These are pretty fun, actually. I don't know if you can tell the colors there, but you have some really nice fluorescent colors. These are basically like highlighters, but in pencil form, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited to play around with those some more. Oh yeah, I got these 2 pens. These are both zebra brush pens. Unfortunately, that is all I know about them, just because that's all I can read on the packaging. The rest is in another language. But these are very, very similar, at least in my opinion, without seeing them side by side. These are very similar to the Tombow brush pens, and they're a little bit cheaper. So if you can find these at your Daiso and you've been wanting to try out the Pentel ones or the Tombow ones, these might be a good option for you. So yeah, I kind of want to do a closer side-by-side comparison on those as well. But I did pick those up. I think the only difference between the two might be the sizing. But yeah, so those are pretty fun. I did pick up some washi tape and kind of other tape-like things. Again, more for bullet journaling, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on them, but I did pick up this 2-pack of like this floral pattern and this green. I picked up this other floral one and then this yellow and black polka dot one, which is really cute. So just kind of for my next couple months and like the color schemes that I think I'm gonna be going for, I just picked up kind of according to that. And then I can go back in a couple months and pick up some more, but I didn't wanna go too crazy on the washi tape just because I don't really have a good way of storing the washi tape that I have now, so I didn't want to hoard a bunch more. Then I picked up these 2 decorative tape rolls. This one has like cats on it, which is just cute, kind of dumb, but I thought I would try this out. And then this one has pandas. So, you know, I had to try this out. I had to see what it was all about. They were really, really cute, and I think it'll be fun to kind of experiment with those. The last thing I picked up from Daiso was this scrapbook. This was really interesting, and inside, there's not a lot of pages in here. I don't think it says, but it is kind of a nice spiral bound notebook. You can have it completely flat, so it's not like a super awkward binding, but in here is some nice toned paper, and it's actually pretty thick, which is nice. So I thought I would play around with this as well and maybe just experiment with some of these art supplies on this as well. So I don't know, I'm still kind of torn on whether I want to use the art boards or this, but I could also probably use this just in general for some fun sketches and things like that. So yeah, that was everything I picked up in my recent art supply shopping adventures, I guess. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I'm really excited to use a lot of these supplies coming up here on my channel. I also asked a Twitter poll recently about like what videos you guys wanted to see, and that kind of planned out my video schedule for March. So I'm very excited to start that. Look forward to the Daiso Art Supplies Part 2 video coming very, very soon, my 3rd Zodiac video coming this month, and my April bullet journal video. That's all things you have to look forward to in March. And remember, if you want to find me on social media anywhere, all my links are down below, as well as a link to my favorite art supplies if you ever want to kind of shop my stash or buy the things that I use. All those links are affiliate links because I am a member of the Amazon affiliate program, but any purchase that you make on Amazon using those links goes to supporting my channel. So if you do that, I super, super appreciate it. And sorry this was such a long video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, I love you so, so much. Thank you for 3,000 subscribers, and I will see you guys next time. Okay.